What's up, guys? Good morning. How we doing? Hope you're all having a good morning here so far. Market, of course, has been open for a while, but we are live and ready to rock. So we're getting a bit of a push. If you look at the daily here, bottom of your screen, finally breaking out a little bit more, right? I mean, I can't call this a trend market yet, but plan is the same as it has been all week. We're gonna put our head down, scalp, and see what we can put together. Maddie, good morning. Scott, Max, what's up, guys? How we doing? Kurux, funded today. Good work. All right. So right now, I mean, if we look at the 2-minute chart, this is a 2-minute chart. We look to be entering a sideways channel, which is fine. I ended up actually trading that sideways channel yesterday. Did you guys see the afternoon? That afternoon was, I'd say, brutal. But it was actually kind to me yesterday. Though it was kind of brutal price action. It didn't bite me yesterday, though, so that was nice. But that afternoon, man, that was really, really tight. Yeah, treetop. For me to get short here, I'm thinking about this right now. For me to get short here, I would 100% need to see, honestly, again, this is a 5-minute chart. I really think I would need to see a nice, clean bear bar closing beneath the 5-minute 20. Because even if we had a nice bear sequence, that'll probably put us down to here. At least. By that point, the 20 EMA is here. You're pretty much testing it, so I would need to see one more bar. At least for a bit of a larger trade, right? For more of a scalp, I'd be okay. I'd be willing, I should say, to scalp the top end of this little sideways channel. Started forming about, it's been about 20 minutes now since this sideways channel kind of began. But for me right now, I'm just thinking scalp. ATR, by the way, it's not tremendous. It's sitting right now at about 23, 24. But we can work with that. We can work with that. I was working with less yesterday afternoon. All right, bottom of this range, by the way, seems to be about 23.40. We'll see if that holds up. This would just be the second test, even on the 2-minute chart. This is a 2-minute chart. What's up, Joe? Good morning. How we doing? So this range here, again, about 40 to 70, about 30 points. We had this question come up last week. I think 30 points is, I would say, 30 to 40 is kind of the smallest, really, really manageable channel, sideways channel to scalp. Less than like 25, it starts getting a little weird. It can still be done, but you have to change a few things. Usually, that reward to risk ends up tightening back up to about 1-to-1. Which is what I had to hit all day yesterday afternoon in that little channel. Was basically well, between I'd say like 0.7 and 1 to 1. Whereas in a wider volatility channel, usually, it depends how it looks. I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush, but usually it ends up going 0.5 to 1 when you're scalping channels, as far as reward to risk. Taz, good morning. Okay, so when we get a big push like this, and then a sideways, trading range, of course we're thinking, all right, well, do we get a second leg higher? We also have to remember, though, that we are in a range market overall that is now attempting, though, to break out. Right? We have to be open to the idea that, hey, maybe we do see a breakout. You look at the bottom of your screen again. This isn't nearly as much of a range market as we were seeing, 3 weeks ago, for example. So I gotta be open to that. Doesn't mean I'm gonna take massive swings. Again, just scalping here today, but if we do end up seeing a second leg, I think I might just hit it over and over. But until that comes, if it comes at all, I'm thinking scalp the range. Stay as dumb as you can. Corey, appreciate you. Good to see you. Morning, Lee. How we doing? ATR is still hanging out mid-20s. It's good to see. When you enter these little trading ranges, sometimes that can collapse. Obviously, the range on each individual bar has certainly fallen, but I wouldn't say that's out of the ordinary. Bumpkin, morning Nico, used your code, signed up for my first eval. Cool, who'd you go with, Apex or Take Profit? Eric, Nico, when you talk about a range market versus a trend, which everyone needs to determine each day for both the overarching market and what you think is kind of going on intraday, or at that moment, the last hour or so. I mean, I wouldn't say it's really specific criteria, but it's also certainly not just a discretionary call. I mean, you look at the price action, right? And think about this. If you're getting a lot of bull bars closing near, a lot of consecutive bull bars closing near their high, especially on the daily chart, bottom of your screen. Well, it probably, and let's say this too. Also, not a lot of retracement into the previous bar. Right, so the best example here would be these two bars over and over again, like 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, 100% a trend market, okay? But when you're getting a big mix, small bodies, a lot of wicks, right, and a lot of overlap day to day, or bar to bar, I should say, range. Okay, now you come back here and you apply that to the intraday 5-minute. You can apply that to the 1-minute. You can apply that to the 15-second. You can apply it to the 4-hour. They're all the same. It doesn't matter. The patterns are all the same. The only thing that changes across charts is if you go really, really short, really fast charts, like a 15-second chart, it's going to be a lot more wiki, just because there's less information in each bar. It's really the only difference. But if you have a reasonable amount of information, like it's high enough volume, and you're looking at a 1-minute or a daily, if you remove the price and time from the chart and just look at the bars with no indicators, it's damn near impossible to even guess what chart you're looking at. They all look the same. The patterns act the same too. Pumpkin, you got some take profits. Yeah, I think take profit is probably the best to start with if your goal here is to go full time. Because they let you do daily payouts. And then Apex is, of course, best for scaling, I think. But probably start with take profit. Now, I should mention, if you are brand new, and you're like, I don't even have an edge, I just want to practice, then go back to starting with Apex. Buy one 50K, or even 25K, probably 50K, Apex eval, and trade the eval with 1 micro. Because it's cheap, it's a super cheap way to learn. Get it on sale for, you know, 17 bucks, 34 bucks, whatever. You can get all the experience you need trading 1 micro on that eval. But when you're ready to get rocking and start actually making money, I think take profit's the best to start with, right? Daily payouts, get you going full time, and then Apex for scaling bigger. All right, now let's see here. You know, this is a 2-minute. I imagine the Bears are probably going to want to see us at least test beneath this wick. Seems the Bulls might be losing some strength here, right? They're kind of unable to reclaim. Every attempt gets shot right back down to reclaim previous wick highs. Attempt, shot down, attempt, shot down. So let's go back to the 5-minute. I'm very interested in scalping the little range. And betting against breakouts succeeding, to be honest with you. But I can't take trades in the middle of the range. That is a death sentence. Okay, yeah, so as far as futures, it shocks me that the financial markets being what they are, there's not an easier way, more reliable way to go to a page. And it's like, okay, here's when the stock market closes. Here's when these contracts close. Especially if you're a little bit newer, if you go to a website that has all those things, the verbiage on it, like, you're probably not going to know what you're looking at. So here's the schedule with the information that I have, at least, for like what we're trading here, which is if you're trading ES, Nasdaq, MNQ, MES. Today they close at 12:15, and this is Central Time. Okay, so I'll talk in Eastern Time just to keep it standard. 1:15 close today, 6 p.m. reopen, and then tomorrow 1 p.m. close Eastern Time. All right, adjust for your time zone, of course. My charts are in Central Time here. So that's for Central Time. That's a 12:15 p.m. close today and a noon close tomorrow. But I mean, I gotta tell you, it always shocks me trying to figure out, okay, when is the stock market gonna close? When are futures gonna close or reopen? It's like, even me, like I'll look at these sites and it's like, oh my God, this page is a mile long. And unless you knew what you were looking at, which means years of experience, you would have no idea what is what. Everything closes at different, especially in the futures market, man. Everything seems to close at different times. But there you go. For what we're trading here, that is the schedule. Yeah, I'll trade holidays, unless it's something that, like, everybody seems to be taking completely off. Like if stocks are closed and damn near everything's closed, but futures are going to open for a little bit, I might just not show up that day. But, like, on days like this, man, I don't know. It's always felt to me like everyone is like, I never trade anything that's kind of considered a holiday. I just think they're scared to trade. I mean, show up. If the price action's there, you take some trades. It's like people are taking off 75 days a year. All right, here we go. Breaking down, attempting a test of the low end of this range. Again, high 30s is the current low end of this range. Doesn't mean it's going to hold. Let's see if it breaks. All right, ATR is falling a little bit here. Heading down to 22. These bars are getting a little bit less volatile. Again, it's all right. I mean, we do have the Fed's Bostic speaking at 10 o'clock here, Central, so in about 8 minutes. I don't expect crazy headlines, but we'll see. All right, well, there's the attempted break of the range. We've got 1 minute and 40 seconds left here on this 5-minute bar. And I gotta tell you, if we get a clean bull bar, I'm not scared to take a stab long. Not at all. Just risk the bar, keep your wrist pretty damn tight. Right now, I mean, it is slightly more probable that we just stay in this trading range or go a little bit higher, at least test a little bit higher, than just reverse the entire day, of course. It's a really big ask to make in the market to reverse the whole day. Of course, it could happen, but this is a game of probabilities. You're playing uncertainties, you're playing checkers, man. Five-minute chart top left. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, I can make a little bit of sense of that. Small little stab. Small little stab. Just break the ice on the day, see if we can get a bit of a reversion back into the trading range. If we continue lower, we'll cut it and move on. Look at that. Now you guys can see what's going on. Risk on this trade being less than 14 points. I'm really just looking to see if we can get a push up toward 2360. Kind of toward like the bottom, I'm sorry, the bottom of the top third of this little trading range. Let's see if we can get that. Brandon, no, we're live, man. All right, Bulls, give me a little bit more of a push that I can actually work with here. ATR continuing to fall. ATR is, of course, the average range of a 5-minute bar, which just tells us volatility, right? That's getting down now in the low 20s, sitting about 21, 22. That last bar had about a 13-point range. Brandon, futures close at 1:15 Eastern time today. So be careful. Meaning you don't want to be holding a position when it closes if you're trading prop. Yeah, pull that there. All right, good little trade. Small scalps today. Put our head down, scalp. Base hits, right? Base hits, see what we can put together. But like, I mean, here, again, I guess hindsight is 20/20, but we did take the trade, right? So when you get this little action here, after you get a big push, especially lately, but almost all the time, except in a really aggressive trend market, it's really common when you get a push like this that you end up in a sideways trading range. And a lot of people probably shorted this, thinking, oh baby, this thing's gonna break out and go lower. Now remember, this is a game of probabilities, not certainties. So it would be very dumb and trading or immature as a trader, right? For me to sit here and say, that's a stupid decision to short here. Of course it's going higher. No, of course it's not going higher. Maybe 60% chance it goes higher. Okay, why? Because it maintains the trading range, goes back into the trading range. It's really uncommon, all that to say, this is the important part, for a market to do this and then curl over and do this. When it happens, it's kind of nuts. I actually got burned on that on a trade. Well, I didn't get burned, it was a loser. A couple of weeks ago, exactly that happened. And it's like, wow, that doesn't happen that often. That was kind of nuts. Usually what happens is the market makes a push like this, and then it enters a sideways trading range, and then eventually it breaks lower or makes a second leg higher. There's like this interim period, right? This kind of intermission of a sideways trading range, usually, not always. So maybe that helps you make some money, or not lose as much. All right, for me right now, take another trade. I just want to see us get out of the middle of this sideways trading range, right? The middle of the range, I'll speak my truth. I like to leave that for the algos who are able to have way more data and be way more sure of their edge and execute much more quickly than I can. The middle of the range, leave it for algorithms. You'll say, well, why is anyone buying or selling in the middle? Well, it's probably mostly algorithms and people with a bigger picture view, or people making quote-unquote poor decisions. Again, not every decision is always an obviously poor decision. This is a game of probabilities, not certainties, but for me, if we're scalping, hang out in the top third and the bottom third of the range, where the probability is highest. Now again, you'll say, well, why don't institutions and algorithms do that then if the probability is highest? Well, because just because the probability is smaller in the middle doesn't mean they don't have an edge. And if it's in the middle of the range most of the time, then they're missing opportunities by not hitting all of those trades all day long, right? Do casinos only offer you games with the most house edge, slots? When you walk into a casino, do they only offer you slots? Nope. They have table games, they have everything. They're hitting it from all angles. Even if their edge is smaller, it's still an edge, right? Important. Now, again, that last scalp, I'll just talk through my thought process. Would it have been reasonable, by the way, to buy here? Sure, would have been reasonable. The probability was a little bit higher here, but the reward to risk was also a little bit worse, because we're a little bit back into the range. But you get a bull bar closing near its high, a small bull bar near the bottom of the range in the bottom third increases probability. So could I sell for a scalp here? Sure, but then I'm risking this being the break for a second leg higher. Me personally, what I would like to see is a test of this range somewhere up here, through a little bit, whatever, who cares, and then a small bear bar closing near its low that I would then short for a move back into the trading range. That's what I'm after here right now. Yes, Joe, more confirmation equals higher probability, but higher probability, what does that equal? Slightly worse, or a lot worse, depending how much higher probability, reward to risk. Right, so that's the equation we're working with. Probability with reward to risk. Does that produce what you think to be a predictable edge over a big sample size, right? You're never going to know for sure. That's the thing. That's what makes trading difficult. But the more you see the same patterns, the more you take the same trades, the more you can kind of be sure, even if some weird thing happens and you end up losing, you can be sure that it was a good trade to put on, right? All right, so here we are getting a test of the top end of that range. I am also very interested to see what happens here. This bar closes in 60 seconds. And then I would love to see a very small bear bar, reasonably small bear bar, closing at the low or very close to the low, like we got here out of this bull bar. Again, got long, nice little scalp. Vinny, I started trading the idea of pulling a trade if the ATR collapses. ATR in my trade went from 18 to 10, and it was noticeable. I think that's a good plan. I mean, listen, yeah, if ATR falls to a certain amount, if you want to just have a hard rule where like, hey, if I enter when ATR is in my range and then it falls to such and such number on such and such time frame, then I pull it, fine. Totally cool with that. I think it's a little more nuanced than that. It depends, like, what is the idea? Is it a swing idea? Is it a scalp idea? How long did you expect it to take? How long has it been? What ATR would be reasonable for the trade? Now, what's it at? I don't necessarily have, like, a hard rule. It's more discretionary. But again, that's how it goes long term. And especially in the beginning, I think you should have hard rules like that. Again, be more robotic in the beginning. And then over time, you move closer to the middle of that spectrum between robotic decision-making, like hard set rules, and discretionary decision-making, like on-the-fly decision-making. So in the early days, I'm serious, start on the robotic side of things. Just have rules so your data makes sense to you. And then the more setups you see, the more screen time you get under your belt, you will move closer to discretionary because you're like, I've seen this before. Let me make an on-the-fly decision. Everyone always ends up somewhere in the middle of that spectrum. You're probably not going to end up on the extremes long term. McDaddy. How long would you say you stay in an average trade? Totally depends. It totally depends. A scalp might be 30 seconds, or 5 minutes, or 15 minutes, or 2 minutes. Depending on the range of the day, depending how quickly it works in my favor. Usually stop order entries work quicker than limit order entries, but you have to be in a stop order entry market. If I'm taking a bigger swing, of course, it could take an hour or two, maybe more sometimes. But with scalps, you know, usually we're talking, I think anything under a half hour is kind of a scalp. especially under, 10 or 15 minutes as a scalp. But, don't get used to trades taking 5 seconds, because if your trades are taking 5-10 seconds on average, you're probably getting chopped out a lot too. It's really hard to have an edge when it's that quick. All right, still, watching this little trading range, you can see it's very obvious. Bottom, top, might as well draw it for you guys, right? Don't overthink how you draw it. Just kind of draw it how you think other people would draw it. That's kind of supposed to be straight. Don't overthink it. There you go. By the way, this is never going to be an exact science. It's not like when it hits this line, it's going to reverse. Please don't think that way. You're boxing yourself into a way of thinking that you're more than capable of excelling beyond. This is a range, okay? If it pops to 2080, it doesn't mean it's automatically broken out of this range. It could immediately just reverse and come back into the range. If it busts down to 2330, same deal. The range could just be expanding into a wedge. I do think, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot, but I guess the way that I think about this is I think it seems like in trading education, there's a couple different camps of thought, right? One of them is, swing trading is probably a little bit, quote unquote, easier. And I can't say I disagree. But for a beginner, this is the part that gets left out that I think about a lot. If you're a beginner, most beginners are thinking uncertainties. I mean, look at any comment section online and you'll immediately realize that. People will say, oh, obviously that's a bad trade. I did this. It's like, okay, you know they don't get it, right? Because probability at very best on futures is going to be between 30% and 70% at very best or very worst. More than likely, 90% of the time, it's somewhere between 40 and 60% probability. 40 at the worst, 60 at the best. Again, we're assuming a 1-to-1 reward to risk just to keep the numbers easy. If you're scalping, it forces you to get over that learning curve of thinking in probabilities rather than certainties so much faster, because you're taking a lot more trades. The trades have to be something that you think makes sense, though. It has to make sense to you. You can't just be like, yeah, I feel like it's going to go down here. It's definitely going to go down here. Let me short. No. Now you're thinking like Reddit, right? Don't think like Reddit. Think like a trader with edge. Say, yeah, okay. Bear bar closing near its low. I do think we're in a trading range, though. Markets don't tend to just curl hard, at least not usually. We're probably going to, and when I say probably, maybe 60% of the time, right? We're probably going to enter back into this trading range. Let me at least wait for a little more confirmation. Oh, look at that. 5-minute bull bar closing near its high above the previous bear bar body. All right, I'll get long for a scalp back up into maybe the low end of the top third of this range. And it worked. And you're like, okay, cool. Now let's keep thinking in probabilities, not certainties, right? If we get a bear bar closing near the low, small bear bar closing near the low to leave room, it's like, all right, then in 3 minutes and 40 seconds, I'm going to get short for a move back into the range. And then eventually this will break and you'll either be in a trade and lose the trade, or you won't be in a trade. And that's new information for you. Gotta humble yourself as a trader, man. It's never, man, I'm right, the market's wrong. That gets you in trouble. You start moving stops. You start averaging down when you probably shouldn't be averaging down. The market is always right. The market's never wrong. So I think the quickest way to get over that hump, get through that learning curve, is to scalp. But don't just take random scalps because you're bored and you want to entertain yourself. Take scalps that you think make sense, which still requires patience. All right, we got 2.5 minutes left on this 5-minute bar. Again, if we see a reasonable, small-ish bear bar closing near the low, I'll sell the rollover. Easy as that. I'll risk basically the range plus maybe 2 points. Can you guys see the little rankings in the chat on mobile as well? Or is it just on PC? Or desktop, I guess. Just keep it reasonable. I don't want to see this expand right into the middle of the range. We got to close here though, I would get short. Quite a bit lower though, I'd have to hold off. Yeah, mobile too. Yeah, it's a cool thing that YouTube added recently. All right, we got about 60, 65 seconds left on this 5-minute bar. Let's see what we get. We are getting a big bull wick back upside. Come on, Bears. 45 seconds to clean this up for me. It's going to close down around like 58 or so. And I'll sell that rollover for a pushback toward the lower third of this range. But got to see that clean close. Got to see that. What's up, Ono? How we doing? All right, let's see if we get a close beneath 59.50. Want to be beneath that body. Nope. Wick back upside. Can't do it. Can't do it. Give away your discipline. You got nothing left. Taz, I appreciate you, brother. Happy to be here. Wrench, Vinny says, Wrench, when does summer volume typically resolve? Oh, it's different every year. It's different every single year. I mean, think about it. If usually like September, if I had to guess. I mean, the kids go back to school, right? The managers, the institutional managers are back. I think the whole summer volume thing, though, honestly, unless you're talking about like small cap stocks where it's a lot of humans, in like big market names where it's mostly institutionally driven, mostly meaning more than half at least. As algorithms become even more common, and the volume is going that direction, which is not a bad thing, by the way, for us. It's just going to make the self-fulfilling prophecies even more obvious. I actually think AI and more algorithms is good for us as human traders. A lot of people are terrified of it just because it's new. I look at that and I say, well, they're all looking at the same thing I'm looking at. All they're trying to do is determine patterns. And if they're all feeding on similar patterns because they are self-fulfilling prophecies, that's why they're looking for the patterns, then don't the patterns become even cleaner and even more obvious over time, given more AI use and more algorithms? I really think that's the way this is going to go. Longer term, don't be scared of it, man. Don't not trade because you think you're going to be out of a job in 5 or 10 years. I think you'll have more human traders in 5 to 10 years. But yes, summer volume, I'd say Labor Day, people are back. But again, I don't think it's going to become less of a big deal, the whole low summer volume thing, as there are more robots doing the trading. All right, now again, for me, we've got about 45 seconds left here on this bar. I would prefer to see it close near the top end of this range so we get another shot at a move like this. This one, of course, closed inside of the previous bar's open, which I was not too happy with. Another couple of points, and I would have sold that short. Of course, wicked back upside, did not sell it short, and now here we sit. James, I finally reached a point where I just sit out when my entries do not present themselves. Took me 6 months to learn this discipline. Yeah, that's the job. The job is to be patient until you need to not be patient. The job is to sit and wait in the shadows and then hit it hard when it presents itself. All right, there's a little algo pop up out of that range. Few stops gonna be mixed in there as well. Probably mostly stops, to be honest with you. Time does market close. Market closes at 12:15 Central today. And then noon Central tomorrow it closes. All right, big wick back. You see that? Right back into the range. By the way, if you guys haven't yet, remember, hey, Take Profit is currently running Take Profit Trader on screen there. Their best deal ever. It is 40% off and no activation fee with code BIG. I think Take Profit's the best firm to start with because the daily payouts. They're probably the quickest to go full-time with if you have an edge because you can take the money the fastest. All right, we got a minute 40 seconds left here on this 5-minute bar. It's kind of sitting right at doji level right now. All right, now that wick up top here, we got to keep an eye on that because this very well could turn into a kind of a wedge with a flat bottom, right? Now, again, this is kind of an interesting way this chart has developed. Things have slowed down substantially. Now the 5-minute 20 is lining up exactly at this very moment with that flat bottom here in this trading range. Dice says, Nico, question. Some say algos are on and trading now. Is there an edge if it is just algorithms in this range today? If somebody is saying, man, this is only algorithms that are trading now. You can't trade this. Listen, when it's sideways, if you're a beginner, you should wait for it to break out. You'll make money easier if you wait for it to break out if you're a beginner when it's sideways, okay? But that is factually incorrect. It is not just algorithms. It's just slow, range-bound, sideways price action. Okay, so depending on your strategy, of course you can have an edge. I took a trade in this range. Doesn't mean you're going to win every trade, but yes, you can have an edge, but it depends how you trade, right? People like to talk in certainties, man. This is not a business of certainties. Anything that you speak with on certainty, other than the fact that, yes, you certainly need to have a statistical edge to make money. Other than that, if you look at any chart and talk in certainties, you are factually incorrect when it comes to trading. The quicker you understand that, the better off you're going to be, and probably the quicker you're going to make money if you end up making money in this industry. But I'll tell you right now, man, if someone or people or whatever is telling you, yeah, you know, that market algorithm or the algos are doing this. What? There's a whole bunch of algorithms that are all competing against each other. There is no one godlike market algorithm or inside secret that all the institutions are like, haha, the retail traders, we can steal their money because they don't know this. And they all go to the woods twice a year and do dances around a fire. Like, that's not real. People like to believe in stories. People like fairy tales. Okay? Because we're human and it's fun and it's like, oh my goodness, it's like magic, right? That's not real. This is price action. Everyone's competing against everyone else. Buying and selling. That's it. But good lord, do those fairy tales sell, man. The whole market is just a self-fulfilling prophecy. That is it. Okay, well, I should say futures. Of course, the stock market is what it was made for, to own pieces of businesses. But the price action is still just that, self-fulfilling prophecies mixed with news. Yeah, Joe, it seems like the Bulls are trying to create a little ascending channel here. Yep, but listen, guys, all that to say, all jokes aside, the institutions are also against each other. Yes, maybe they get friendly. They have, you know, this institution and this institution. Oh, so-and-so from Goldman Sachs and so from such and such institution meet at a dinner and they're friendly, whatever. But when it comes down to it, they're not all in bed together. They're competing against each other. They fucking hate each other, most likely, at the top level. Right? It's like when it's really easy to sit back and think, those toots, man, they're screwing us. They don't even like each other. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They're saying, how the hell can we beat Morgan Stanley this year? Those sons of bitches stole all of our clients last year. Let's double their numbers this year. Right? All right, getting an attempt at a breakout here. Let's see if the Bulls can give us a nice close. We have 3 minutes left on this 5-minute bar. If the Bulls can give us a nice close above these wicks, again, in that case, there's two scenarios. Either we make a slow grind push higher, or we head right back into the trading range. But if we got that here in about 3 minutes, I'd be willing to get long. Now that we've had 2-3 tests out of this little trading range. All right, we got about 2 minutes left here. Let's see what we get. Jeremy, I don't even know. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what you're referring to. Again, you will never catch me talking about specific other men in a negative way. It's not me. I'm saying in general, this has been a thing for years. Everyone tries to offload the blame to a big thing that you can't control. You know why? Because it makes you feel better about losing. When in reality, trading is just hard, and you need to not be lazy and try to understand the context of the market, try to get a grasp on your data, and it takes work. It takes screen time. It's a lot easier to just say, oh, I'm losing because Goldman Sachs has it out for me. Oh, that's what's happening. Of course, I can't lose. I win at everything I do, but Goldman Sachs has all the power. Or you played a big boy game, like the financial markets, and you fucking lost. That's what happened. There's a reason this can pay you so well, right? It's really hard. It's really hard. It takes a lot of screen time. All right, let's see if we get out of close here. Punch that long, and I will risk that curl. See if we get a bit of a move higher. See if we can get a push up through 23.1. It's going to be a tier 3 level, not too concerned with it on its own. There's the test of 23.1. Driving manually here, got my fingers on the hotkeys. In case we get a bit of a pop. No, John, I don't have any agreement with Affordable Indicators. I'm not in a partnership with them. I have no affiliation with them. They just said, hey, you want to try our copy trader? I said, yep. I said, wow, I like this. I'll tell people about it because it's helped me fix the issues I was having. I don't even have a code at Affordable Indicators. Nothing. But if you're curious, that's been my favorite copier. It's fixed a lot of the problems I was having previously. All right, Bulls, let's take this through 23-1, man. All right, we've got 2 minutes left here on this little 5-minute bar. We're struggling a little bit to get through 23-1 right now, but that's not going to pull it like a child real early. Out of emotion, right? Dromisha, Wrench, first trade today from home, hit my daily goal. Good work. Oh, there's a hell of a doji, huh? Kind of hung up right here around 23-1. Again, 23-1, I would classify it as a, or I do classify it as a tier 3 level. I'm not thinking too much about that level on its own. Honestly, the high of day right now is more important than the level itself. ATR is a bit low. It's sitting down at, what is it, 17? Yeah, so the average range of a 5-minute bar right now is about 17 points. That last bar was 7. 7-point range on that last bar. Now remember, market closes at 1:15 Eastern time here today, and then 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. I'll break even on the trade right now. Volatility is staying pretty much the same here. I mean, ATR 17. That's relatively tight. 7 3/4 on the previous bar. On the last bar, we're about 12 on the range. Are you guys showing up tomorrow to trade? I'm curious what everyone's plans are. All right, well, it seems like everyone's showing up. I mean, you guys got to learn to do your research before you talk. Futures are open tomorrow. Until noon central. Brandon, best way to celebrate 4th of July is trading futures with no PDT. You're damn right. What a slow trade, huh? I have no reason to manage early yet. By the way, that target up there, I have that up there in case we get news. Though I certainly don't need it to go that far. Well, Joe, no one's guessed it yet. There are multiple. If someone gets one of them, I'll let you know. Come on, Bulls, take this up through 23-1, man. There's nothing worse than a market that just isn't moving. All right, let's see if the Bulls can push this up through 23-1. Now, if we can get a pop through there, we may get a small algo pop, maybe 5-10 points, maybe. With volatility as low as it is, I wouldn't bet on 10. But if we can get a bit of a push through 23-1, maybe that can give us some free rocket fuel to get some more points. Trading Chris. Good work. Now it's time to become a trader and never use that degree. All right, Bulls, come on now. Joe, I think you actually guessed. It was the first guess in one of your multi-guesses in a single message, though that's not the one that I typically drive. I'll say that. No, not that. Chris, there you go, that's one of them. I'm not a car guy, man. I just don't care. But it's nice to have nice cars. But I gotta tell you, it's weird to me when people spend like all their money on a bunch of different cars. It's like, this probably sounds whatever, but like cars they're not a big enough deal, I feel like, to be like, look at how many sick cars I have. They're too cheap. We'll put it that way. Plus, it's weird. It's like, how many cars do you really want? They're a pain in the ass more than anything. Unless you're like racing. It's a headache though. You got a driveway full of cars, man. You got to get the oil changed. The tires go flat. I mean, again, like, listen, buy the cool shit. But don't hang your hat on that long term. It's not cool to still be flexing cars when you're 70, bro. You gotta level up by that point. Doesn't mean you can't have the nice shit, by the way. I'm not saying don't buy it. Buy it, 100%. Have the nice stuff. But don't hang your hat on it. It's not that cool. By the way, I'm texting a one-on-one client right now. If you want to apply, you can apply there. Link in the chat. All right, still, I still want to see if the Bulls can take this up through 23-1. Not for any particular reason, just because that is now the high of day. All right, Bears bring this into the 5-minute 20. See if they can do anything with that. Man, ATR is sitting, what are we, below 15 now? Yeah, we're at about 14 and a half, maybe 15. Yeah, Joe, it's going to be just before close. I kind of want to see this. I want to watch this a little longer. If ATR just continues to fall, then I gotta cut it and just call it a day. Because this volatility is starting to just get brutal. But I'm not at that point yet. What in the world? Hold up. Hold up. And take profit just disconnected in the middle of a trade. What the Any of you guys ever had that happen before? I don't know what's going on. I think we're good. Just bizarre. I don't think all of them did, though. Only a couple. I don't know. That was weird. But they're all reconnected now. Good to go. Yes, Joe, I agree. That would be very nice to see right now. All right, well, ATR is now sitting about 14. Talk about slow volatility, huh? All right, that what just happened is actually a very important thing on the day here. That is the first touch of the 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart literally all day since the opening bell. It's really obviously, you know, short day today, but it's really, really, really uncommon. Very uncommon to see a whole day on the 5-minute chart. We actually had this happen this week. In the morning, it did end up touching, but it's very uncommon to see a whole day go by without at least a test of the 20 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, and usually you end up getting at least a couple of bars that close beneath the level. Now, that's on a normal day, of course. Today's not a normal day. It's a short day. Jeff, if you are in a longer trade, and based off a more current setup, you would normally take the trade in the opposite direction. Is it time to manage, or do you just wait it out at that point? For me, it depends on the setup. If I'm sitting long, and something happens that it's like, oh, I would 100% slap that short if I was flat, it's probably time to manage early. That has not happened. There is nothing on this chart since I entered the trade that I would sit there and be like, yep, time for me to enter short. 100%, I would do that every time if I were flat. It's not there. Now, another reason to manage early, there are kind of 3 reasons to manage early. Number 1, if what you just said happens. Number 2, you're running out of time. And number 3, if ATR gets to a point where it's so bad that you're kind of also running out of time because volatility is so low. Those are the 3 reasons really to manage early. At least losers, for the most part. Joe, Nico, can you give us some insight on your one-on-ones? Is it an open forum? No. Do you have a set questionnaire type? No. Video share screen? Yes. I text you on this. We get it set up. I meet with you on video call once every 2 weeks. I have constant access to your trading data. I partner with TraderView. I had it built out, custom trade logging software for the program itself. You upload your data. I have 24/7 access to it. We look at it. If you need help, you can text me. I'm not going to sit there all day and text you back and forth, obviously, but you have access to me right to this phone right here, iPhone, voice message. I hit you back. And then we meet on video call every 2 weeks. This is very serious. If you're not serious, do not apply. Okay, I'm trying to take people from where they're at to full-time and beyond. Very serious program is the one-on-one, the top level. That's why it's the elite one-on-one. This isn't some bullshit. This isn't anything you've seen from anybody else, at least that I know of. I'm damn serious about this. I'm trying to take you from where you are to full-time, but you have to put in the fucking work. If you're not going to work multiple hours a day, do not apply. I'm very serious about this. Robert, do you do anything besides trading? No, I trade and I work with traders. That's it. That's all I do. Yeah, no, today the market closes at 1:15 Eastern. Tomorrow it closes at 1 Eastern. All right, Bear's trying to take it down through the 20 EMA here on the 5. I gotta tell you, at this point, it's like I just want to get out of here, man. But can't manage early. No reason to yet. We got 4 minutes left here on this 5-minute bar. Bull's still attempting to hold this wick low here. Big Lou, how much is your one-on-one? To work with me one-on-one, you'll pay $3,000 a month for 1 month, $7,500 for 3, $12.5 for 6, or $20K for a year. All right, let's see if the Bears take this out, man. Yep, Jay, $20K for a year. I told you, I'm dead serious. And people pay it because I'm the best that offers this. Straight up. Come on, Bears, do it. All right, we got about 27 minutes until the futures market closes here. Come on, Bears, do it. This would actually be pretty good timing. So we got to get out of this thing pretty soon anyway. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've got shit to do, man. Come on now. Nah, Dominic, I'm not gonna start doing stupid shit like that. I put the trade on, I manage if it needs managing, and otherwise I let it operate the way that I need to. Okay, we're out, man. Market closes in 24 minutes. I think I'll stream tomorrow. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What are our predictions for volatility tomorrow? Is it going to be dead, or are people showing up, you think? I think we'll get some volatility. Not a lot, but I think we'll do a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll pop in for a little. What do you guys say? Yes, it is open tomorrow until 1 p.m. Eastern time. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to be it for today. I will see you guys for at least a little while here tomorrow. Again, if you're curious for context, I'm trading Apex Fundeds and Take Profit Trader Fundeds. Take Profit Trader is currently running the best deal I've ever seen them run. 40% off, no activation fee. Use code BIG. It also gives you the best deal at Apex as well, which is currently 80% off. But I think Take Profit is the best to start with. Get the daily payouts, go full time, and then scale big with Apex. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good day.